Okay, for section 5.1.1, we have to enter justifications for each of the steps in the derivation. And so what we have here in the first three steps obviously is pretty easy, so we're going to have assumptions. Then, for step 4, the first real step of the derivation, step 4 is going to build upon step 3, and it's just going to wedge on D. So it's going to build on step 3, disjunction, introduction. Now, step 5 is then going to take what we built up in step 4, use it with this, and cross the biconditional to get the other side, which means that we're going to use steps 2 and 4 biconditional elimination to be able to assert that. And you see how this works. So we took C to begin with, wedged on D so that we could get something that looks like this. Then once we had that, we can cross the biconditional and get the other side by using biconditional elimination. Once we have this, then we know both of these things. So we just do 5 conjunction elimination to get E. Then we're going to wedge on H. So 6 disjunction introduction. And now we have something that looks like the antecedent in the conditional in line 1. And so we can cross the conditional because we know that and get to the consequent, which is what we have in step 8. So we're going to use 1 and 7, that's the assumption here and what we've shown here, to cross over and be able to assert what it is that we wanted to show. And so this is conditional elimination. Okay, section 5.1.1, problem 2F. We are asked to complete the following derivation. So what we need to do, of course, first we have a series of assumptions. Now we know we need to get to D and not D. And so we kind of have to look and see how are we going to do this. Well, we have those pieces inside of our assumptions. This one's going to be easy to get to because it's just a conjunction. This one will be a little bit more challenging. We have to get to the other side of the biconditional, and we only do that if we can get this. So first, low-hanging fruit, we'll say not D, line 3, conjunction elimination. So now we already have half of it. Next, let's say, okay, well, we also know B, same reason. And because we know B, that is going to feed into the antecedent here and allow us to cross back over to there, and that gives us C and not A. And this is line 5 and line 2. So line 2 and 5, because we normally put them in order, conditional elimination. So now we know C and not A. Well, that's convenient because one of the things that we need up here to be able to cross this conditional is not A. So let's go ahead and peel that off. Not A. This comes to us by way of 6, conjunction elimination. So now we have not A, and we already have B, so that's going to give us this term here. We need that, so not A and B, and that's going to be 5, 7, conjunction introduction. Now we have this term, we can feed that in here, get to our consequent, and we can say B if and only if D, and that's going to be by way of 1 up here, and then also 8, our antecedent, and that's going to be conditional elimination. Now we have B is equivalent to D. We already have B in line 5, so lines 5 and 9, by conditional elimination, we can get to D. And so there you go. By line 10 we have D, line 4 we have not D, and so 11 we can now prove what we set out to prove and say D and not D. Lines 4 and 10, conjunction, introduction. And we're done.